What's up? This is Ryan.
And this is Aaron.
And we're from One Board Family. Our channel focuses on multi-generational gaming. Essentially, gathering people, whether old, young, new gamer, or old gamer, around the game table to experience board, card, and tabletop games.
Yeah. About 15 years ago, we really fell in love with board games and the way that they brought people together, and we had so much fun with them. And we started building a board game collection.
Yeah.
At that time, we really didn't know where to start. We just kind of started with some games that we saw on the store shelf that we thought we might like.
That's right. Yeah. We had games like Taboo and Scrabble and kind of categories, all the common ones, but we wanted a game collection that really spoke to us as gamers.
Yeah.
And so we wanted to make this video 10 games to start a board game collection with. And so we're going to each give 5 of our games that we would pick if we had to start a board game collection from scratch.
And we really tried to choose games that aren't super well known, games that you might not have heard of before.
All right, so let's go into our first game.
The first game that I want to talk about is Point Salad. This game is by AEG and it plays up to 6 players. It's really fun and interactive, and it's really easy to teach. It's basically just a card game with veggies and scoring on one side and veggies on the other, and you're just trying to acquire veggies in order to score the most points. And so this is an easy game, but it's a lot of fun, and we have played it a ton.
That's right. This one's easy to teach because you're basically just drafting cards from the central display. It's really easy to catch on to, but there's a lot of, there's hate drafting because you know somebody needs a certain veggie. There is just that strategy of saying, well, I'm collecting these veggies, I hope I can find some point cards that go along with it.
And it's fun too because sometimes when you're down to the end and you have to take that last point card, but it gives you negative for things that you have, that can make it pretty exciting and frustrating, but fun.
That's right.
Yeah.
My first pick is Doomlings. This is another card game. This goes into that same bucket as Point Salad. It's easy to teach, easy to understand, and what I like about Doomlings is everything that you need is in this one box. So Doomlings was a kickstarted project from years ago. I think it happened during the pandemic, and this little box of creature cards is so much fun. It's easy to teach. All you're doing is you're playing a card from your hand, you're picking up a new card, you're basically trying to lay out this tableau of traits that are going to give you points at the end of the game. What I like about it is that if you like what you have inside this box and you want more of it, there are tons of expansions. There's all kinds of expansions out there, and you can pick up those expansions if you want to, but the game is still really solid just in its one box form.
And it's good because it's not like a super serious game. It's a really fun game because things like shift and change all the time.
Yep.
You can't take it too seriously, but if you want to laugh and have a good time with people, it's a great game.
That's right. And this one covers a large age range, and it plays up to 6 players.
The next game that we want to show you is Skull King. We have had this game for many years, and this is our second copy, and it's really worn. It's by Grandpa Becks Games. We love their games, and it's up to 8 players. So it's a trick-taking game, and it's super interactive. It's easy to teach, but it's like really dynamic and fun and exciting because as you're laying down tricks and you've bid, and you don't want to go over your bid, but you also don't want to go under your bid, and you know what other people have bid, it's just a lot of crazy fun yelling and plays a lot of people, so we like that.
Yeah. If a player knows Spades, the classic card game, they're going to be able to easily jump into Skull King. There's a couple extra rules, but what I like about Grandpa Beck Games is a lot of times they allow you to take cards in and out. So you can play with the Whale and the Kraken, or you can choose to play with the Loot cards. So it kind of caters to how advanced your gaming group is. So you start off with just the generic cards and some pirates, and then add in some layers as you get more comfortable with the game.
So you want to keep playing because it becomes harder and more fun.
Every collection needs a party game. One of our favorite party games is Green Team Wins. This is from 25th Century Games. This is one of our favorite games to bring out during holidays, birthday parties, special events. This one's actually going with us tonight to an event because it plays so many players.
We actually have 2 copies of this game because you can play up to as many players as you want to, and everybody gets to kind of vote on what they think the answer might be. And if you agree with everybody, then you get points. But if you're kind of out of the loop, you don't, but you want to get back in. So it's a lot of fun and involves a lot of people.
This is a majority rules game, and I love the questions that are in the box. And if you outgrow some of those questions, you can make your own questions, honestly. They're fill in the blank. There's this or that, which is basically 2 options, or a pick 3 situation where you pick one of 3 options. This is a very flexible game that plays so many players, and it's perfect for just about any party. You just write on whiteboards and go from there. So a lot of fun, and one that needs to be in your collection.
Yeah. The next game that I want to talk about is Trio from Happy Camper. It plays 2 to 6 players. Trio is interactive because it's a card game and everybody has a set of cards, but you're depending on the other people to help you meet your trio. So you get to ask everybody. Everybody takes a turn asking everybody what they have, and you have to remember what they have or remember what's in the middle of the table before you get to put your trio together and lay it down.
That's right. This game is really cool because this is an interactive card game where you're basically asking questions of other people at the table, and what I like about it is that it can actually be a great icebreaker.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah, even if you don't know the players at the table, you can ask questions of people that you just learned their name. This is a great one, especially playing 6 players, to have when you go travel, when you have game nights at the house, or when you go somewhere where you be meeting people at a restaurant or something.
That's a good point. This is a great game if you want to remember people's names that you have just met, because you're having to ask them, go around the table and ask them. So this has helped us learn and remember a lot of people's names.
Absolutely. It's a great addition to any game collection. I love games with beautiful artwork, and Harmonies is one of those games. Harmonies is from Libellud Games, and it's one of those games that is really flexible, easy to teach, and you're essentially making ecosystems for different creatures to live in. Every game is going to feel different because you have all these different scoring criteria that you can lean into, and the different types of creatures that are going to roll out are really, really dynamic.
Yeah.
This was my game of the year in 2024, and it's one of my favorite games in the collection. It's not very big, but it packs a good punch.
Yeah, and kids as young as 10 can play it, and it really doesn't take that long at all. It's about a 30 to 45 minute game.
Yeah, 30 to 45 minutes. The game plays really well, and once you kind of outgrow the basics of the game, you have a second side with more advanced scoring for your water features, and you can even jump in with the spirit animals, which adds another layer to the game. So it's really flexible. Harmonies is a great addition to your board game collection, and it's a great starter game for anybody to jump into if they're looking for a puzzly experience that supports up to 4 players.
The next game that we want to talk about is Royal Visit from IELLO. It's a 2-player game. I think this is the only just 2-player game that we have in this, what we're talking about right now. But Royal Visit is a tug of war game. Ryan and I love to play tug of war games, back and forth games. And so you have your cards, and your cards help you to have special abilities that make the king come towards your side or your partner towards their side. We love how competitive this game is. And this is also a game that is pretty easy to teach. There's not a large learning curve. It's pretty straightforward. There are only 2 different characters that have some special abilities, but they're very easy to learn. Yeah,
this is a Reiner Knizia game, and if you know that name, that is a prolific designer in the board game space. This 2-player game is just so much fun to sit down and play this tug of war game back and forth. What I like about it is it plays in about 20 to 25 minutes, and you're probably going to want to play it multiple times
in a row.
Yeah,
that's me.
Yeah, it's so much fun, and it's if you're looking for a really good 2-player experience, playing a card game, nice components, great artwork, Royal Visit's an excellent pick.
It also doesn't take up much room on the table, which is a great thing.
Absolutely. A common mechanic in board gaming is worker placement. And one of the best worker placement games around is Architects of the West Kingdom from Garphill Games, co-published by Renegade Games. This game is really, really fun, and while it's one of the more advanced games we're going to talk about on this video, it is a game that I think people looking for a midweight game would really, really enjoy. This game has a little meat to it as players are going around the board collecting resources, trying to accomplish different tasks, trying to make builds of things, and their opponents are actually literally arresting them and putting them in prison so that they can stop their progress.
That's what he does.
That's what I do. That's what I do.
Yeah.
It's a little bit mean, but it's a very, very well-made game. It's a game that when people are looking to dig a little deeper into the board game hobby, this game fits the bill.
Yeah, I would say the learning curve is a little bit more steep than some of these other games, but it's a game, once you learn how it works, you do want to come back to it over and over again.
That's right.
Yeah.
We were looking at the game collection last night. We were playing a different Garphill games game, and one of my friends was like, man, Architects is such a great design. I was like, absolutely.
Yeah.
So if I were to start over and start a brand new board game collection, this would be one of those games in that collection.
Definitely. The next game that we want to talk about is Century Golem Edition from Plan B Games. This game plays up to 5 people. It's very colorful and bright, and it's an engine builder game. So this is a good entry level into engine building. So basically you have cards that you're able to lay down in order to earn gems. As you've collected the gems that you need to take that certain golem into your hand, you're going to get the points for it afterwards. And so it's sort of a game that's not super interactive. Everybody's kind of focused on what they're doing, but there's a lot of strategy behind it, and there's a lot of just great artwork that makes it a lot of fun.
In a lot of ways, Century is a comfort game in our home.
Yeah.
It's a game that we're so used to and really enjoy playing that you just kind of go on autopilot and you really enjoy the mechanics of the game. Century Golem Edition is actually the version that we prefer. Century Spice Road is actually the original version.
Yeah.
Both of them were designed by Emerson Masucci, which is one of our favorite designers.
This is a game we'll always have in our collection.
Absolutely.
We love it.
Finally, a game that has to be in a beginner's collection, The Quest for El Dorado. This is another Reiner Knizia game. This one's published by Ravensburger, and this is a game that actually has been released again in a new format with different artwork. That's probably going to be one that we're going to have to pick up eventually.
Yeah.
But this is one of my all-time favorite deck building games. It is similar to an entry-level deck builder. You're essentially starting with the same hand of cards as your opponents, and then throughout the game, as you are traveling through this pathway, you are collecting more cards, gaining more things into your deck, shuffling them up, and starting again. This is a great way to teach mechanics, not only racing mechanics, but also deck building mechanics to a newer gamer. But it's not just for new gamers, because you can make the map as difficult as you want. The flexibility of this game, of taking the map tiles, making your own map, looking up online and taking other people's inspiration, or just looking at the book and taking one of the 6 or 7 maps in the book.
Yeah.
It flexes really, really well.
I love this game. It is one of my favorite games. We've played it the most with probably our brother and sister-in-law, and just the race to get to the end, and somebody might be way ahead and others way behind, but then all of a sudden, depending on the strategy you use and the cards that you have, you can zip right around, and the first person to the end is the winner, and sometimes it's not who you think it's going to be.
That's right. That's right. This is an absolute must for any board game collection starting out, and if I were to start again, this is probably my first purchase.
Sure, yeah. Yeah.
These are just 10 games that we absolutely adore from our own collection. These are games that get a lot of play in our house. And when we look at the board game industry, a lot of these games are very affordable.
They are. And many of these games we have had for many years.
Yeah.
And we keep going back to. And they are very affordable. Most of them, some of the card games are just $20 a piece. So most of them are very affordable.
So if you're looking to start your own board game collection or looking to expand your family game shelf, hopefully this video has helped you, give you 10 options that you can easily pick up and add to your board game collection. If you haven't already, be sure to subscribe to this channel. We do videos like this all the time, and we've got some great reviews, previews, overviews, and of course, podcast content over at oneboardfamily.com. So be sure to check over there for more board game content. Thanks for joining us. Until next time, we'll see you at the table.